All right, so today I have Miss DJ Teenie Z from Massachusetts. How are you doing today, Miss Z, Miss
I'm
Teenie?
doing great. I'm doing great. I'm doing all right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Where did you get the name from?
Well, my name is Christina Zinno. So, and my family calls me Teenie, like Christini. So, Teenie Z. I was thinking about DJ Teenie, and then my sister said, "Nope, you need a Z." And then another friend said, "Nope, you need the Z." So I was like, "Yeah, it has the ring to it." Teenie Z just kind of like flows.
For real, DJ Teenie Z. I like it. Yes, ma'am. So, Miss Teenie, my next question for you is, where can people find you at?
Instagram DJ Teenie Z, Facebook under Christina Zinno, YouTube DJ Teenie Z. I have a
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What type of content do you produce? Do you make?
well, I've made a couple of short videos, like 5 minute mixes, just for fun, and they're fun. They're fun for me to make, and I put a couple of those on YouTube, and I I've streamed a bunch of times during COVID, and I mean, usually when we're not in a global pandemic, um, I'd have a couple gigs a week. I've done gigs for fitness classes, gallery openings, fundraisers, stuff like that. But since I'm home, I'm just trying to make the best of it and just doing stuff to keep creative and keep limber in the DJ sense.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I have so many questions.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
No,
Ready
I'm
to
gonna ask you.
hear.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you this one.
All
Um,
right.
what have been three of your most fun gigs that you had so far?
Um, so I DJ'd for my friend's Mosaic studio, and that turned out to feel like a party. That was so fun, and her was the busiest because music brings people in. That was actually like one of the last nights I went out before COVID, and that just like stands out in my mind. Um, Another fun gig was a fundraiser in my town around the block from me. A restaurant here held a fundraiser for people in need in my town, and so I did that gig, and that was not only was it fun, but I felt like I was doing something good. And the third one, probably just DJing for friends in my basement, like hanging out.
Yes, ma'am.
That's probably yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Miss Teeny, my next question for you is, what's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Leo, August 12th.
What do they say about Leos?
Dramatic, fiercely loyal, a little bit jealous, um, uh, attention seeking. um, and my favorite women in my family are Leos, so I feel like I have like a kindred, um, like we're kindred spirits because we share the same. So, and I don't know about any other zodiac signs, and I don't really care.
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
And
Um,
son whose name is Leonardo. I love Leo. I love Leos. I love August. I love lions.
that's cool. That's cool. My next question for you is, what's your favorite color?
Red.
Has red always been your favorite color?
Well, I really like primary colors. I love blue and yellow. Um, but red is my color. Like red, I love red. I feel red. I feel I have an energy with red.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What's your favorite number?
8.
Has eight always been your favorite number?
Well, eight was my favorite number since I was eight because I had a really awesome year in third grade. Third grade was a good year for me. I was the line leader a bunch of times. I think I was in a play. I just remember like feeling good when I was eight. Eight's my I like it that it's even. It's a good number. It's the symbol for eternity. I like eight. Eight's just a good number.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What are some of your favorite foods?
Okay, so a good sandwich, like a really good like wrap with like turkey, cheese, lettuce, tomato, pickles, like that's the bomb. That's it. That's a good one. Not just any sandwich. You know, it has to be like freshly shaved, like cracked pepper turkey or like from like boar's head, freshly sliced deli, like a deli sandwich. That's bomb. I,
Yes, ma'am.
I ate sandwiches when I was pregnant, and I wasn't supposed to. I was just like, this. I need a sandwich, like a good sandwich. Forget about it. It's the best.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What are some of your favorite restaurants to eat at?
Okay, so there's a restaurant a couple towns over. It's called Sweet Basil, and I love it because it's like the everything is mismatched. The chairs don't match. There's there's you can't make a reservation. You can bring your own wine. It's kind of cozy and it's like hard to get by tables and the music is always awesome. Um, I just like it. It's like my kind of place. It's not pretentious at all, but the food's awesome. It's like awesome Italian food, and I love it. That's my jam.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome food, but without any pretension.
Right, I understand. My next question for you is, what countries would you like to visit?
Okay, so um, my countries, like the countries that I love, are England and Greece because my dad's from Greece, and my brother lives in England right now, and this summer, if we're vaccinated, I'd love to go to my dad's village. I love it. I'd love to show my kids where my dad's from.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Would you rather go into space or deep sea diving?
Sea diving, for sure. I'm
Um,
not. Nobody's paying me to go. I would need a tranquilizer. I'd have a panic attack. I'd like jump or whatever. Like
me,
no, no. I mean, deep sea diving is probably as equally creepy, but at least I feel like I'm still on this earth. You know.
yes, ma'am. What would you like to see underwater?
um, a colossal squid just came. Coral, the, the coral reef barrier would be awesome.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. My next question for you is, what are some of your favorite animals?
If I could have any pet in the world, it'd be probably a donkey. Donkeys are sweet and they have long eyelashes and they're, I feel like, emotional. They're just, I love donkeys. I just always, I'll be honest with you, my father had a pet donkey in Greece. And when my dad tells a story all the time, not all the time, but it's like a story from my childhood. When he went away to the Navy and then came back, his pet donkey, Kicha, went running up to him, and my dad hugged him, and the donkey started crying. Listen, I don't know if this is true, but it's just like the story that it's like, like everyone has stories from like lore, folklore from their childhood, from their family, and this is one of ours. Like my dad's pet donkey started crying when he saw him. Like that's kind of amazing. Anyway, I love donkeys. They're sweet and lovable.
I like donkeys too. I never seen a donkey cry though, but I wish I did. That'd be cool. I heard elephants cry too, but I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
all right. So my next question for you is, oh, something just happened. Sorry, messed up.
Right.
My next question for you, Miss Teenie, is do you have any pets?
No.
Um, would you like any pets besides a donkey?
All right. Listen, I feel like my kids would love a dog. I just, I'm not there yet. I may never be there. I mean, I just can't take care of one more thing. I feel like doing them a disservice by not getting them a dog. And I see how my kids are when they see dogs. They love dogs. They're not afraid of big dogs. They're not afraid of pit bull. They're not. They just love. But I'm. That's like a whole learning curve for me. Like, I never had pets growing up. I no, I don't have any pets. I probably won't get one for a long, long, long time. Maybe ever.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. Well, hey, if you ever come down here, we got three dogs. So yeah, your kids can come play with the dogs. It's okay.
Okay. Sounds
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
Good.
My next question for you is, what are some of your favorite drinks?
I'm not like a huge drinker, but when I go out, something about a margarita, like a real margarita, not with like the crap in it, like the sour mix, with like salsa and chips. I love the whole thing. Like it's festive. It makes me feel fun. I I like tequila. Margaritas. Margaritas are they do it for me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Do you like to go shopping?
I sure as heck do.
What are some of? Do you like to go online shopping or shopping in the stores?
Do both. I do a lot of eBay, like old like vintage stuff, and I do consignment shopping. But all right, let me tell you something. When I need a pair of jeans, I'm not messing around with jeans. Like I'm not gonna buy jeans from like eBay, used jeans. No, Levi's. I Levi's jeans, new. But other stuff like dresses, sweaters, jewelry, like vintage is cool. Vintage is awesome. But you know how women are with jeans. Like I'm not messing around with that. I'm not getting like old Levi's like size 8 from 1972, which are probably like a size 2 now. Mm-mm. I need a little stretch. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. I feel it.
Spandex.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What's your favorite Levi number to get?
oh, I don't know. The
Oh,
stretch,
it's okay. Yes, ma'am.
the ones that like lift your butt. Those. The number lift your butt. Lift your butt, Levi. That's.
I was trying so hard to keep my composure, Miss Teenie. I can't do it. I failed. I failed. The lift your butt Levi's. Yes, ma'am. So, Miss Teenie, my next question for you is, what's some of your favorite stores to go shopping at?
Um. Blah blah blah. So like to walk into I don't know Marshalls, TJ Maxx. I love like walking around like that fancy food aisle at Marshalls. Yeah, I need some English. I mean, those those are like that's like that that's some like Chipotle dusted popcorn. I'm gonna need some of that. Like yeah, I just like to poke around at Marshalls and TJ Maxx. That's my jam.
Yes, ma'am. I like those too. I don't
I
know.
have
We have Ross and we have a Dollar Tree here too. I like those. Those my stores. I'm simple.
yeah
I
yeah.
like TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls too. Those my stores. Um, all right. So, Miss Teenie, my next question for you is, what are your plans for the next 5 years, and what are your plans for the next 10 years?
Okay, so to be healthy, um, to my plan is to have a good relationship with my kids, like an open relationship with children. I want them to be able to. I just want to be close. I'm trying to foster that now. Um, and I'm definitely never gonna give up DJing because that brings me so much joy. So like finding a balance between giving like all I can to my kids, but also um, keeping the DJ part alive, because I feel like I'm a better mom when I'm filled with something that I'm doing something that brings me joy. And I love, listen, when I like land a set, when I like land a transition, I mean, for me, that's like a high. I love it. I love it. And like, I can feel it. And I think I bring that energy forward, and I hope people like it and want to get up and dance. And anyway, that and my kids. And we'll, my, my husband in there too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
No,
ma'am.
just like keeping the family together while doing my own thing, which is important.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. My next question for you is, do you have any talents besides being a mother and being a DJ and being a Levi connoisseur?
Okay, so I dated a Peruvian slash Panamanian guy for 3.5 years when I was in my early 20s, and his mother taught me how to salsa dance. And so and you know, you have to be born with rhythm to do that. So it's kind of like I was already a good dancer. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I, yeah, I can salsa dance.
That's cool. That's
Like
cool.
I'm like Celia Cruz, like azúcar. Yeah, it's good. I actually had a salsa band, like a little salsa trio or quartet at my wedding because we both love it.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Um, okay, so my next question for you is, what is your message to the women of the future who are 20 and older, and what is your message to the girls of the future who are 20 and younger?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell everybody right now. The biological clock is it's a real thing, and it might be a concern right now. Don't worry about it. Don't let that hold you back. Um, I'm hoping that generations forward don't hold marriage at such or finding a partner and getting married at there's no timeline for that. Don't worry about it. Get yourself situated first, and then everything else will fall into place. And listen, my parents were awesome, and they didn't really put pressure on me, but I just grew up in a traditional Greek family, and I just thought that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to find someone to get married, to have kids. And, you know, I turned 30 and I was like, oh my God, I need to get going on this. Like, you know, and my husband's a little bit younger than me, so he wasn't in a rush. And we were so cool. We had a great relationship. We were very almost like kind of casual. Like we were great. We were fine. There was no stress. I turned 30 and I was like, we're getting married. He's like, whoa, like what? How? And I was like, well, I'm 30. I need to have a baby, you know, and if we want to have two, like you have all these timelines in your head. Guess what? F that. Don't do what I did, or do what I did. Do what I did. Do whatever you want to do, but don't let your timeline get in the way of establishing yourself first. That's it. That's all I got.
I think you said it all. I wouldn't add nothing else to it.
I have to stop myself because I could just keep going. So I'm like, phew, phew, the sound effect.
Well, that's how you drop the mic, Miss Teenie.
But that's how we do it.
My next question for you is, what would you tell your husband 20 years from now?
that I that he was a great partner for me. He was a great life partner for me because listen, we're very different. Um, I mean, oddly, he doesn't appreciate music the way I do. He likes it, but it's not a passion for him. Um, but I'll tell you this, I'm going to say thank you for letting me chase a dream that sounded it was in the middle of the night. And I was like, listen, I'm gonna become a DJ. He was like, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? Babies. What do you want? Like, I mean, like do something more like substantial. Get a job with insurance. And he didn't do that. He was just like, "Are you serious about it?" "Yeah, I'm serious about it." "Okay, let's let's do this. Like, go ahead, do this." I mean, he really doesn't have anything to do with it, but I mean, he definitely gives me the space, in terms of time. Like he understands that I love it and that it makes me happy. And um, if both people are happy, it affects the environment of the house. So I think he understands that without us talking about it. Like, he's not a huge, like, we're not, um, he's not a verbose man. He's very quiet, but he definitely, I'm going to say thank you for giving me what I needed to pursue this dream.
Dropped it again. Back to back.
Ow!
Miss Teenie. My next question for you is, what would you like to tell your children 20 years from now?
um, I'm sorry for swearing so much. No, I'm just kidding. What would I tell my kids in 20 years from now? What would I tell my kids? Um, well, one's going to be 27 and one's going to be 25. So I think that I would just tell them, I hope you, at that point, hopefully they know what direction or what they're interested in, or where they they have an idea of the path that they want their life to take. Although it could change. It could change again. I mean, I didn't become a DJ until I was 38, Um, but just, I'm going to tell them, I hope you were always true to yourself and your heart. Drop,
Yes,
drop it. I'm going to drop it. I'm going to.
that's 3 times, dog. What they call that? They call it, is that a turkey in bowling?
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know.
You did it 3 times. Ain't nothing wrong with it, Miss Teenie. You own it. You on the roll. All right, so let's make it 4. My next question for you, Miss Teenie, is what would you like to tell yourself 20 years from now?
The same thing. That I'm proud of myself for learning something new, and um, often going out of my comfort zone. There's huge learning. This is a huge learning curve for me. There's so much technology behind it, and um, I wasn't born in the internet age, so I feel like it's easier for people a generation before me, um, or I'm sorry, after me, right? Yeah, after me. I think it's easier for people 20 years younger than me to catch on to technology. It's just they were born into it. It's a language that they're comfortable with, and I think I'm going to be able to look back at myself and be like, I'm proud of myself for frequently being out of my comfort zone and trying to grow and become better, because it's really easy just to want to give up and be like, I can't, it was very difficult for me to sign on to Twitch, I'll be honest with you. um so anyway, stuff like that. I mean, I'm happy that I like stayed the course and was became comfortable with being uncomfortable. And now I'm quoting one of my best friends who's a yoga teacher, and her classes can get hard, and she's like, toe the edge of your pain. It can't be too painful, but when it gets too easy, you stop trying. So um, become comfortable with that, with the edge. And I feel like I'm on that edge, Tony. I am edgy. That's it.
That's, what is that, 4 times? I gotta drop it for you. There
Yeah.
you go. For real. For real. Alright, so Miss DJ Teenie Z.
And
My,
and what you're doing, Tony, you're probably out of your comfort zone a lot. Like, I mean, you're very easy to talk to, and it's probably in your nature to have awesome conversations with people, but it's not nothing to, interview people that you've never met every day. You've become comfortable with being uncomfortable. I mean, you're creating something, you're building something, and it's not easy all the time, right? Or is it easy? It might be very easy for you.
I just try to keep a smile on my face day by day. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's it.
I don't know. I don't know, Miss Teenie. There's a lot of stuff I could complain about. You're absolutely right. But I try to stay as positive as I can. Like I
Awesome.
don't. But every day I do have some crazy thoughts. Like what, man? I only been doing this for 2 months, but I'll tell you 5 times already. I'm like, man, I'm not doing enough, or this isn't going the way it should be. But it's cool though, cause I'm just say, hey, even if you think like that, just keep on going. When it might hit, you just keep going, just keep going. I don't know, Miss Tina. It's. We'll talk later. We'll talk off the camera on this one, for real. But yeah, I don't know. We'll definitely talk about what you and your music, and what you and online social media and stuff. The internet. You say you wasn't born in the internet age. I was kinda. I think so. I was, because as soon as I was 5, I had a PlayStation. That's that's enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah. So any help you need on the internet wise, please let me know. If I can't get it, I know somebody who can. I know I done interview a couple women who are like IT in the IT department.
Awesome.
So yeah, Miss Teenie. My next question for you is: are there any shout outs that you would like to make to your friends or to your family?
Okay. Yeah, to my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, who have, um, and my mother and my father, who have kept us afloat during this crazy 8, 9 months. To my sister,
Yes,
Elise,
ma'am.
to my brother who lives in England, but we all text a lot. We're all super close. Um, yeah, to my family, and my very close friends who are. Um, it's a deep love that I feel for my friends. It's a deep love. There's romantic love, there's like marriage love, like after you've been married for however many years, like that's a different kind of love, right? It's a deep love, but it's not. um I mean, listen, okay, this is another story. I'm not gonna go here. you
Take your
know
time. It's okay.
After being married for a while, like there might not be, like, you got to try a little bit to keep it alive, to keep that spark, but anyway, that's another story. But I have a profoundly deep love for my friends who, it's something to be seen as you, to be seen as completely you, like to be completely natural in front of, and that's how I am, with this group of girls, and we come from all different walks of life, and we have different lives, and we're from different towns, and but we found each other, and it's very open and vulnerable, and zero ego. So yeah, that's my shout out. Mom, dad, mother-in-law, father-in-law, my kids Lorenza, Leonardo, my husband Sal, my sister Alicia, my brother Dimitri. That's it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What did your parents teach you as a child that you're trying to teach your children now?
Yeah, 100% that, to be humble always. My dad my dad and his brothers owned a pizzeria for 40 years in Connecticut, in Windsor, Connecticut, and they did everything. They weren't the kind of owners that show up once in a while. I mean, they were making pizzas. My dad was there every day at 5:30 in the morning making dough. Um, so they taught me to be humble, and that no matter where you are in life, you're not better than anybody else. So when I go to, like when we go out to eat, I'm so my friend Erin and I talk about like what's a deal breaker for making a friend, like what, like, and we both agree. She said it, and then I was like, exactly. She said, if I go out with a girlfriend and she's rude to the staff, that's a deal breaker. I can't be friends with someone that would be rude to somebody that's serving. You know what I mean. Um, and I'm gonna be over compassionate for the people in the kitchen at a restaurant because that's what my dad did for 40 years. So I feel a kinship. Like when I go out to eat or whatever, and like I see people toiling in the kitchen, like I feel a kinship with them. Always be humble. That's what I'm saying. Always be humble, and you're never better than anybody else. I mean, listen, the garbage man comes, and if we're outside, I don't ignore. Like me and my kids, like we wave, have a good day. I mean, we're all the same. Like we all have the same. And on the inside, we're all the same. We all have the same soul. We all have potential to be hurt. Um, I'm going to teach them humility and to be humble. Number one. That's it.
Yes, ma'am. I have two more questions for you.
All right.
Um, Miss Teenie, my next question for you is, how do you feel women are represented in the world?
You know, this is a tough one because I mean, depending on where you are, I I'll be honest with you. I was a tomboy when I was young. My parents let me do whatever I wanted in terms of like, I mean, I really wasn't an athletic kid, but climbing trees and swimming like very far out in the sea. Um, I was a, I mean, I was obsessed with comic books when I was a kid. Like I did things that weren't considered girly. So, I mean, in my like microcosm, I never felt that my gender was even considered. Like I didn't really feel feminine. I just felt like a person in the world, not a girl in the world. But I gotta tell you, when I got out in the world, I realized how objectified women were, and that certainly, of course, still exists. And I mean, I see it. I see it every day. I see um, comments being made about, from like singular people in my life that I know, making comments about women's bodies, or like they have a shape, or um, talking about like portion control, just that, like I don't want any of that near my kids, even my son. I don't want to talk about calories or portion control, or I mean, body image issues is fucking real, and Instagram and Facebook and social media like doesn't help. And so how do I think that they're represented? I mean, depending on where you are and with who you surround yourself with, I think they're highly objectified, and I want to steer as clear away from that for my kids' sake as I can.
Yes, ma'am. My last question for you, Miss Teenie, is what needs to be changed for women to have more power or to be treated equally?
Okay, well,
Well, yeah, to be treated equally, because y'all not treated equally in my eyes. So yeah, what needs to be changed for women to be treated equally?
mm, well, I think a lot has happened in the past couple of years to help women in the future. The Me Too movement, I think, was eye opening. I remember my mother called me. She's like, "Did anybody ever touch you in any of your jobs?" I'm like, "No, I worked in a boring engineering firm." I'm like, "Nobody even looked at me." But that was eye opening because it's amazing how prevalent that um, abuse from people in higher up, like on the in the hierarchy in offices. It's amazing how much abuse was happening in the hands of superiors. I mean, it's so anyway. what has to happen? I think we have to have more women in power in the government, and also um, encourage what has to happen. Encourage our kids, our sons and our daughters to speak up if something is said that they don't agree with, because I'll tell you that coming from a very traditional Greek family, I was taught to always like respect your elders, which we still should respect everybody, not just the elders, just respect people. But I didn't challenge authority. I didn't challenge family members that says stupid things. And I'm going to teach my kids. And there's a way to do it, like you can say it in a respectful way, but challenge people that say things that you don't agree with. That's okay. That's okay. If they make a racist comment, a sexist comment, um, I think we have to change the pattern of dialogue that we've been complacent about for so long. And I'm them to be more verbal and vocal about that.
Yes, ma'am. So, Miss DJ Teenie Z, thank you for coming on my show. Is
Thank you.
there anything that I didn't ask you, or is there anything that we didn't talk about that you would like to say?
I think we're a-okay. I think we covered a lot. Thank you. I loved all your questions. The zodiac sign to we got into like big world issues. I love it. I love it.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
gonna do coffee and like crumb cake.
Absolutely. Anytime, anytime. And now, it's the pandemic, everything virtual. And I just call my phone. We sure can. But yeah.
Sorry, what?
Oh, I say, it's the middle of the pandemic. We can have coffee time anytime. Just call my phone.
That's it.
Yes, ma'am. So yeah, Miss Teenie, I appreciate you again for coming on my show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.